Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Tell Me Yours, a storytelling podcast with me, your host, Trey Everett. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tell Me Yours. I'm your host, Trey. Today on the pod, I have a really hilarious comedian, a really talented actor, someone I found on TikTok, and I've just really loved his comedy since. Also, I did record this episode while I had coronavirus, so you can definitely hear that I'm sick in my voice, and I'm recording this intro on my iPhone, so I apologize for the poor quality there, but you know what? It's fine. We make it work. Please, without further ado, welcome to the pod, Russell Hicks.
We are the problem. Yeah. We are the problem.
Talking to each other.
That is so funny. But yeah, like, when did you go to the UK? Like, why did you go to the UK? I'm so intrigued by that.
I came here it was so long ago now, and I swear time passes so fast. It was 2013. I'm from San Diego, and I lived in San Diego, and I moved to Los Angeles in 2012, and I was there about a year and a half. And I just I don't know, LA was cool. I was enjoying it, and I was doing a lot of stand up. And then I met, I just got into British comedy. I don't how when you get into music, you start finding out about more obscure bands.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I was with comedy. So I found out more obscure comedians, and then that led me to world comedians. And then I met a girl who was from England, and I was like, I want to go out and try it there. And that was basically it. I came out, but I was doing colleges in America, so I could come back and do a little bit of colleges. And then it was I just sort of had that thing, kind of like what I'm talking about with moving to the Midwest, that even though it's funny, it's I sort of had this realization where I was like, okay, look, what do I really want? I want to be a comedian. Mm-hmm. And live that lifestyle. And so it started to become more apparent that it was picking up in England. And I was like, who cares where I live?
Mm-hmm.
They were starting, because in England, it's weird. It's almost like it's a mirror of the economy in America, where it's in England, there's a bit more safety in a way for artists. In America, for example, do you do stand up? You're not a stand up, right?
No, I play music though. So I feel like I would probably understand the comparison.
You probably understand this then, where it's okay, in America, when they bring you on as a comedian, they're like, okay, this guy, here's his TV credits. Before I even bring you on, this is all the celebrity he's got. Mm-hmm. In England, that's so taboo. You don't do that. And so what happens is you get booked based on your skill.
Yeah.
It's a meritocracy. There's work. The comedians on the circuit are they might not be the most famous comedians, but they're working because they can do the job.
Yeah.
And so there's more of a culture for you're a traveling artist, that's what you do. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you've been on television, and a lot of them have, don't get me wrong, but
for sure. For sure.
Yeah. And it's so in America, they'd be like, hey, can you do my show? And they wouldn't even mention paying you. It wouldn't even be a thing. Whereas in this country, they'd be like, hey, listen, all I can give you is $100. And you'd be like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So long story short, I just liked it. And then I just ended up staying. And also, I don't really like to fly. Yeah. This is a key element. Yeah. You know what's so funny? I always tell this story. I always do this big long-winded story of why I'm here. But the truth the reason why I'm mostly here is I don't like to take the flight back. So I end up just staying. I can't
bear the flight home, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, but the reason that we're going to chat today is because you're going to tell me a story.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm ready.
Okay, man. So I just tell you a story.
You just tell me a story. That's it.
What a lazy podcast host you are. It's you told me I remember you sold me on this podcast. You're it's the lowest stakes podcast.
It is the lowest stakes podcast.
What are you talking about, dude? I have to freaking prepare a story.
Oh, sorry, I meant for me. I don't have to do anything. I get to listen.
For you.
I get to
okay.
to listen to a story, dude. It's
honestly. Are you even gonna are you gonna sit there, or do you like get up and
I'm gonna
walk around and make?
Can you imagine? I turn my
make
camera
lunch?
off, I put myself on mute, and I just let
Yeah,
you
I'm like,
go.
okay. Anyway,
So I guess it was
I know what story I'm gonna tell you though.
2015. Yeah.
I was talking to my girlfriend.
I
I
love it.
said to my girlfriend, I said, what? I gotta tell this guy a story tomorrow. I said, this guy lassoed me into a podcast. And I said, I got to tell this guy a story. What should I tell him? And she's like, you got to tell him the story about the time that you lost your girlfriend's bird in San Diego.
Oh,
so that is
no.
the story.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
the story I'm going to tell you right now. So this is before I was a comedian. This is like, I'm going to say I was about 23. This is like 2000. This is early 2000s. It was a
Okay.
different time.
Yes, very.
I believe George Bush was in his second term.
Wow.
And we thought, this is the worst it's ever going to get. It was a different time. And like we were just
so sweet. We were so
so sweet. Like,
so
whoa, we can
sweet
only go
and
up from here.
innocent we were. This has to be the bottom.
We can only go up from here.
Oh man.
And so I was dating this this isn't relevant, but I was married briefly to a girl, a lovely girl who was Russian. I was married to this Russian girl, and we were together. We lived in the flat, and I think I had just started to become a stand-up actually. And
Okay.
what happens whenever I've like had a relationship that was kind of starting to wane a little bit, I've noticed that the other person will, to compensate for the fact that I'm not really present or we're not really working anymore, we'll pick up like a new hobby.
Okay.
Like I had this girlfriend once who like I knew our relationship was on the way out because she started painting. And I remember she just started painting cats with hats. Like I would just come home and she would just have like there'd be all these paintings in the house with cats wearing different hats.
Yeah.
And I was like, you all right? And so like the thing that like this girl did was she started buying animals. She would buy animals.
okay, that's
She bought like a hairless.
It's a
Yeah,
little
she bought,
more intense.
Yeah, she would surprise me. I mean, she was lovely, but she would just be like, surprise, we have an animal. I was like, so we had a cat, and then she got this bird. And I remember she just bought this bird. And I don't know, have you ever had a bird?
I feel like I had a bird when I was a very young kid, but I don't remember anything about it, which probably means I did actually have it and I just didn't take care of it.
I think it needs to be illegal to own a bird. It made me so uncomfortable. It's a bird in a cage. It's a bird in a cage in your house. It's like you just have this little bird. You just have this prison in your house now. And it made me feel terrible. So I used to hate this bird being in the cage. So I would take the bird out like as much as I could. I would take the bird out and I would walk around with it on my shoulder, which is, I resented her for that too. Cause now I was one of those guys. I'd walk around. I'm like a guy.
Very specific type of person. Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, what do I guess I start selling pills now.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is when someone posts, do you ever see like a thing that says lost bird? Someone will post like around, they're like, we lost my cat. I used to always see these posters around my city. They'd be like lost bird.
It's like,
I'm like, you didn't lose a bird, dude. Your bird escaped. I'm not helping you get your bird back. It's
your bird is home, bro. Your bird is free.
Oh, you mean your bird went home? That's what I'm seeing. Oh, your bird escaped. Good for him. You think your bird is somewhere right now being like, hey, man, is anyone? I'm trying to get back home.
Yeah.
This guy used to lock me up and then carry me around on his shoulder. And he just, and it was the life, dude. I would just walk around, just smell his stench, bird dudes don't shower.
They also had this really lovely cat who definitely didn't want to eat me. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Oh
Every
God,
single
that's
day,
funny.
I would just walk. I would just be, is the cat going to get me today?
Yeah.
It was a nightmare. Please
Please
call
help me get back. Yeah.
Let me get home. So, I mean, like, I would have this bird and like, I remember, okay, so she was going to go to Russia and you know how I feel about flying.
Mm-hmm.
And she was going all the way back home to Russia to see her parents. And she was like, look, you don't have to go. I'm going to Siberia. It's cool. She lived in Siberia. And she was like, I'm gonna go. But she had so little faith in me as a responsible adult that I took offense to what she said when she left. She said, look, whatever you do, please don't lose the bird. And I was like, I mean, what? Honestly, dude, like, it's pretty hard to lose a bird.
Yeah, you literally keep it in a prison in our living room. I'm not gonna lose the bird.
I was so offended. I was like, what do you mean don't lose the bird? Should I try not to die as well? Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose the bird. So she's gone for like, I don't know, dude, 5 hours, and I lost that fucking bird. Couldn't believe it. Basically, I put the bird on my shoulder, as was my habit, and we lived in this little flat, this little apartment. Look how British I am. We lived in this little apartment, and I used to walk outside and talk to my friends on the phone because it was sunny. It's California.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, soak it up. And I was outside talking to my friend on the phone, blah, blah, blah. And then I just had this moment. I'm outside and I'm like, oh, shit, dude. And I look to my shoulder and I've got the bird on my shoulder. And I swear to God, this bird just takes a moment. He just looks me in the eye and he says this look on his face like, you dumb motherfucker. Look, man, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
But what would you do if you were me? And then he shot off my shoulder. He's like, I'm a bird, bro. You knew this would happen.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this bird just like shoots up in the air. And I'm like, oh my God, the bird flies away. Like,
happy
gone,
as this
just
bird
like,
has ever been. Yeah.
oh, he's stoked. He's like, I can't fucking believe that shit. And he disappears into the atmosphere like immediately. He just flew so far. Like losing, like a balloon. It was gone. And I was like, I told my friend, I was like, I gotta go. I just lost the bird. So I hang up. And she's not coming back for 2 weeks. So I'm like, all right, don't panic. It's cool. So first I look around the city. I look around, you know, I can't find the bird.
Please tell me that you posted a lost bird poster somewhere.
I did, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I did. I had to. I didn't want to. Well, what I did was I put it on Craigslist.
Oh.
Yeah. You know, because that,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
this is 2000. This
It's
is like
early
2007.
2000s. Yeah.
This is Craigslist
This
was
is what the internet was for.
This is what it was. I don't know what social media we had, but it was like,
oh my God.
you know, I put that on Craigslist because there was a whole section on Craigslist for like lost animals and lost property or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is Craigslist even still around?
Craigslist is still a thing. Yeah.
What's it like now? Because, dude, then I remember it was just a cesspool. Like,
yeah,
dude, Craigslist is such a good example for like just the internet in general. Like, Craigslist was around for like 2 days before it just became a freaking BDSM dungeon of like for like a minute. Like the whole internet. The whole internet was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like the internet was pure for like about a month in 1995.
You're like, it's all the information.
Remember when it was
Everything is
like
here.
Yeah, all it was like families would have like a GeoCities.
Yes.
Remember what websites were? It was just like the Bryce family.org.
Oh my God.
It was like Bryce family at GeoCities or what, and you're like, it would just be photos of a family.
So good.
Yeah, they know who they are.
They know.
They know who pays the
and
rent.
you know what? Good for them. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I mean, in a world where people are hiding behind such a beautiful image.
Not Craigslist.
You know, Craigslist is Craig is the only guy who's saying, hey, look, hey, this is who I am.
God bless you, Craig.
No
Craig,
one's canceling.
Craig, if you're listening, God
bless you, Craig. Bless you, Craig, for being the last honest person in society. No one's gonna cancel Craig, dude. He's like, hey, I told you.
Yeah, you guys have known. You've known who I am. Since
What? There's an advertisement for someone.
2003. Yeah.
What? I never lied to you. Yeah, there's an ad on my page for people who want to have sex with a grown man dressed like a baby. You knew who I was.
Oh my god.
I'm Craig, dude.
So anyway, you're on Craigslist and you're
All right.
posting about your lost bird.
So I posted about this bird.
Oh my god, that is so.
There was also there was a thing about like, I found things or something. And anyway, I somehow came across, either I posted about I posted about the bird, and then someone got in touch and was like,
no.
Yeah, they're
way.
like, I've got the bird, man. I got it. And I was like, oh my God, you do? Like, amazing. Got his phone number, called him up. And this is a couple days have gone by now, because like I spent the first day looking around, the second day sort of like seeds in a jar outside. Third day, just praying. And so now we're at like Craig. So now we're like, and we got 2 weeks. Yeah. So now, okay, the guy calls me. He's like, I got your bird. I'm like, sweet. I'm like, all right,
That's crazy.
where can I come get it? Okay, in San Diego, there's this place down by the water called Seaport Village. Okay. And there's this guy who I don't know if he's still there, but he was this guy who used to just stand on the corner. He had like a tip jar and stuff, and he had birds. He had just like an array of birds, and he was the bird man. And you could come down, and he had parrots and various tropical birds, and he looked like Captain Ron. I assume you're familiar with the Kurt Russell classic.
Yes.
And so he looked like Captain Ron, and that was his deal. That's how he made his living, and he just had all these birds.
That's amazing.
And his mental health was what you would expect.
Yeah.
I imagine. He was eccentric.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm the dude. I got your bird. I'm the bird man. you're familiar. And I said, yeah. Yes, Captain. So I was like, great, dude. I know exactly. He's like, just come down to my little. I was like, cool, dude. I'm coming down. I'm stoked. He's got my bird. I explained that. I was like, it's this one, right? Yeah. Little cockatoo or whatever it was. It was like a little tiny bird. And it was like a little yellow kind of canary thing. And I go, yeah, I'm coming down. So it takes me about 20 minutes. I literally jump in my car. I'm like, I'm coming, man. I drive down there, and I get there, and I go, I'm here, man. Where's my bird? I'm not. He goes, I sold it.
No.
Like totally, like it was normal. He's like, oh yeah, I sold it. I'm like, when? Like, it's been a half an hour. He goes, some guy walked up, made me an offer.
Oh my God.
And I was like, but you said it was my bird. You called me and you said it was my bird, man. And he's like, yeah, but I mean, these birds are for sale. Like there was no getting through to this guy. I just was like, when someone's like, so there was nothing I could do. Cause I was like, why would you sell?
Yeah.
This is a moot point now. Like to ask him why he sold my bird is ridiculous. I was like, all right, I accepted the reality. I was like, you sold my bird. He goes, here's the number. Here's the number of the guy who bought your bird. All right.
Oh my God.
So I got this dude's number, and I'm like, whatever, man. Whatever, dude. Like, fine. I take the number. And oh, by the way, he tried to sell me a bird too. He was like, do you want one of these?
Yeah. What about this one?
And by the way, had they looked similar,
probably would have done it.
Might have happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
I fully support you.
Didn't stop him though. He was like, "You want one of these?" I was like, no." I was like, "You almost got me," but
thank you so much for the offer, but I think I'm good. I didn't want the bird that I have.
Yeah. Like honestly, Ron, I don't even want a bird. This isn't about that. It wasn't about me getting the bird back. It was about her not. Because you have to understand, our relationship was on thin ice at this point.
Yes.
And she already like, I was a comedian now. It was getting like,
yeah,
I wasn't exactly screaming provider at this point. And so this was like my last shred of dignity. Yeah. And so I call the guy who's got my bird. And this guy was so sweet. He was he was Japanese, and he was like
Okay.
in town. I don't know what he was doing, but he was very much, Japanese. He had thick accent and everything. Won't be doing that. But I
Yeah, I
called him and I
appreciate it.
couldn't communicate. He was so nice because like this dude accepted, if someone called me like randomly and I was like, hello, and someone was like, you have my bird, I'd have been like, what? I'd have had a lot more questions than this guy.
Yeah.
He was just immediately accepted like that this was reality. And he was so like the stakes were so high for him. He was such a sweet guy. I was like, hey, listen, man, I know this is crazy, but you just bought a bird from a guy down at Seaport Village. It's my bird. And he was like, I did. It is. And I was like, yeah, listen, I need you to tell me what the bird looks like. Cause maybe it's not my bird. Cause remember at this point, is this even my bird? Because
Totally.
right.
Mm-hmm. Because it's
and
a
so
bird.
I'm still going on the word of this guy being like, I got your bird.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. And the guy's driving and I'm like, he's like, I'm on the highway, I can't pull over. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. You can. And he's like, but I'll check. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to like, and now he's like, I'm looking. And he's like, he's describing the bird to me. And I'm like, dude, that sounds like my bird, but I need a photo. And he takes a photo and my bird was, like I said, it was like this yellow little canary with like little like red in the top, and the guy takes a photo and it took a while for me to communicate, take the photo because again, language barrier. And he sends me a photo of a bluebird with like what I mean, dude, it was like a peacock. Like this bird, dude, now I'm so mad at Captain Ron.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I had a photo of my bird on Craigslist. I said, this is my bird. And this guy's like, I got your bird. Bro, this bird couldn't have been further. Like, if it wasn't a bird, it would have maybe been closer to this bird this guy sent me. Like, it wasn't even close to my bird, dude. And I just like went back to the dude. I didn't even, it wasn't even worth it. He's like, you call him? Like, yeah.
Like so defeated.
Just like, I don't even know where to begin with you, man. It was almost like, had I like in the past, like walked by and like snubbed his birds and this dude, like, was this a long game? Was this like a long con? He's like, I don't know when. Maybe I was just in San Diego and I just walked by and I went, yeah, birds. And he was like, he's like talking to his birds. He's like, rest easy, my friends. I don't know when, but we shall have our vengeance.
Our day of vengeance will come.
We'll scour Craigslist every day. He'll slip up. Maybe he followed me home. Maybe he was in the trees, like coaching my bird off my shoulder. He's just up in the trees in a loincloth. Come on. Jump, friend.
My God, that is so good.
So like I finally, and I've like, this has been going on like a week and now it's like even longer, a week and a half. I mean, it really got to the point. I really actually thought I was going to get the bird right until she came home.
Oh man.
And the thing that made it the worst was I was offended that she had thought I would lose the bird.
Yeah.
But when she came home, she goes, she walks in the house and I was like, hey, welcome home. Listen, I do have something to tell you. And she was like, what? I was like, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did lose the bird. And her expression was just completely just fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you hear what I said? Like, I lost the bird. And the worst part about it was she was just totally fine. And she said, I knew you would lose this bird. I was like, damn it. She was like, when I said goodbye to bird, when I left, I knew that I was saying goodbye to bird. That hurts, Trey.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That hurts.
Oh man, when I said goodbye, I knew I was saying goodbye. Oh my god.
She was
I
right.
love it.
She was right.
Oh,
That hurt the old self. That took a shot at the self-worth right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I always knew I was irresponsible, but like she called it.
Yeah.
She called it.
She like really knew. You know what I mean?
She like called
you
it.
Knew, but like she knew.
Yeah. I mean, there was no hope
Oh
for, you know, starting a family at that point, I think. Like,
I get it.
I mean, it made me personally question my own abilities.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I should ever be in the care of anything.
Yeah. Oh my god, that is so funny. I still just love the moment when when you're outside and you realize the bird is still on your shoulder, and just the moment the bird flies away, I can just picture you hearing her voice in your head, and you're like,
yeah,
God damn it!
I was like, she's a psychic.
Oh my god, what was the bird's name? Do you remember?
Yeah, she named it like a Russian name. She called it
cool.
Persik.
Persik?
It means like peach or something like that. Yeah.
That's like a pretty badass name for a bird.
Yeah, Russians, all their words sound super badass. Persik.
I love
peach.
that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But that bird never slept, you know. The bird was like, because birds like they're really sensitive. And so like we had a really small apartment. And I always felt bad because if I got up to get a drink, because we had a kitchen and a bedroom, that was it.
Yeah.
And so if I got up to get something, the bird would wake up. So this bird was like, you remember like that movie, The Machinist? Like the bird was just whacked, dude. The bird hadn't slept for like 60 days. He was just like,
I guess I've never thought about birds sleeping. Obviously, they have to sleep. They're birds.
Yeah. You got to cover it. The thing about a bird is it has to be pitch black, so you have to put a blanket over the thing, and if it's not, they're up. So this bird was just
so crazy.
He was pretty poorly behaved. He would bite me a lot, and he was just like, the dude was hallucinating, man.
Or he was just trying to get out of his prison.
The dude was in a sleepless prison. I think wherever he went, man,
been torturing him for years.
He slept like a baby.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Oh man, that poor bird. Not that poor bird. That poor bird. That bird is living its life. That bird got
he's dead now.
Biggest. Trey. Well, you know, probably. No, definitely. Yeah.
Finally getting that sleep.
Well deserved, I would say. Well deserved.
That's the bird story, man.
I love that. That's a perfect story. It's great. I love it.
It's a perfect story.
It's a perfect story, man. I wonder if the Bird King of San Diego is still there.
So I went back to San Diego, and this is when I told my girlfriend the story for the first time. I went back recently, and we were in Seaport Village, and I didn't see him, but it brought it all back. I was like, you know what? And I told her this story. And she also thought it was a spectacular tale of failure.
It's a great story. It's a great story. I love that, dude.
Well, no one liked it at the time. I'll tell you that much.
Well, no, I'm sure it wasn't great living it.
It wasn't great at the
time.
I
feel like at the moment though, you had to also see the humor in it though.
Oh yeah, she was so cool. Like, I mean, she was like, no, for real. Like, I'm cool. Like, I've made peace. Like, I knew the bird. I'm over it. And so it was never like a sore subject. It was like, well, he's gone, you know. I knew you'd lose it, so.
It's the level of disrespect is amazing.
I know, right? Like the absolute
no
faith
seriously,
in me.
It's not a big deal. Faith in me at all. I knew you were going to lose the bird. It's okay.
Brutal.
Oh man,
absolutely brutal.
So funny. I love that. Well, thanks, man. That was awesome. That was so fun.
Thanks for letting me tell it to you, man.
I love it. I love it. Is there anywhere you would prefer that I point people towards to be able to like find you?
Well, yes. TikTok, obviously, but like a lot of TikTokers, Instagram also. For some reason, it's hard to get people to. They like you on TikTok, but it's hard to get them to go to Instagram.
It's so weird. Yeah, it's so odd. Like, there's people that I see that have like tens of thousands of millions of followers on TikTok, and then you go to their Instagram and they have like 700 people follow them on Instagram. Like, what the hell? Like, what?
I don't get it either. I don't know. There? It's weird.
But yeah, no, absolutely. Your handles are the same. Is that right?
Yeah. No, actually, let's see. TikTok. Well. You can look it up.
Yeah, I'll also fact check myself, so don't worry.
No, I think TikTok is like Russell Hicks Comedy, and I think Instagram is Russell Hicks with 2 S's at the end.
Perfect.
But yeah, and YouTube, cool. Instagram, TikTok, because I put longer form stuff on YouTube if people want to see maybe like a more of a full stand-up show, stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah,
I love it. And then are you pretty much staying like more local to where you live right now, or are you trying to like tour around other places in the UK?
Oh, I tour all over the UK. Like
cool.
I'm all over the UK, and I go to like Ireland and stuff like that. And cool. I go to Europe. That's the other thing. When you come here, you get more of a window into like Europe as well. So you can like go. You end up going to Germany, and like that was just so cool. Like I always wanted to travel, so I was only like 30 when I moved over, and I was like going to Germany. You're doing stand up in Spain. It's so a trip, cool. You know. So I go all over the place. I think though, probably I was on this I played a character on this new Amazon show. It's like this reality show called Love Struck High.
Okay.
And I played this coach, and like hopefully if that keeps doing good, maybe I could come back to America more, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
You know, come back, do some stuff in LA. I'll look you up, man. We'll have a coffee.
Dude, absolutely. That would be fun. And then
what do you do? You're in a band. What's the name of your band?
We're called Moonlight Graham.
Yeah.
We're like a folk trio, but I write as well. So I had a book that came out in December of last year, and I have a second one that I'm like in the editing phase of now. So I feel like I'm kind of always just trying to do like a lot of different things. Otherwise,
That's cool, man. What's the name of your book?
The one that came out is called Beneath the Surface. It's like a suspense novel.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I'm so bummed. Like I said, I spent all of March in the UK. I was like in Scotland for most of it, and then I popped down to London for like a week, and I was like, damn, I should have like looked up to see if you had any shows, because that would have been so fun.
For sure, man. Yeah, you never know. When was this?
March. March. Pretty much the entire month of March.
Yeah, I was around, man. I was probably in.
I know, I missed it.
Next time,
hopefully your Amazon show will continue, and you'll come out to LA, and we can grab a coffee. Maybe you could do a set or two, and I'll check that out. And if I'm back in the UK, I'll absolutely look you up, man. This was super fun.
Please do, buddy.
Yeah, thanks again for doing it.
Thanks, man. It was good talking to you.
Yeah, of course, man. All right, have a great rest of your day, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
Take care, man. Let me know when it comes out. Email me. I'll post about it.
I will, absolutely, man.
Cheers, bro.
All right, see ya.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. Thank you, Russell, for sharing that hilarious story. May the bird rest in peace and the bird king of San Diego live forever. If you want to see more with Russell, head over to his socials. I've thrown links in the show notes of this episode. And if you're in the UK, go see him live. He's hilarious. You will not regret it. If you want some extra time with Russell, head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/tellmeyours. If you want to follow us, Twitter and Instagram, we are at tellmeyoursPod. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, be kind to each other, and we'll talk soon.